Good morning and welcome to the 300th podcast of Andy Collier-talks cricket memorabilia. We've got a bit of a change of plan this week. I did say last week that we'd probably have a recap of all the bits and pieces over the last year. But of course, yesterday was the Chris Saunders and Knights auction up there in Cheltenham, a very nice venue, and there was a few people there too, so it's fantastic to see some of the old collectors there, see Tim and all that lot again, and see Chris. So we had a good day, and as you might be aware, I bought a few bits, so other bits have turned up this week. So without further ado, we'll start on that. Bits of talent this week. Got a Bradman Carrera card this time. Bradman, he's turned up this week, so I've been waiting for him for a while, but that's another nice card. I think there's 4 cricketers in this set of personalities: Bradman, Hammond, Hobbs and Wyatt, I think, by memory. Nice card, that one there. And then we've got a lovely signature there of Johnny Douglas. As I mentioned before, I think I'm going to put that in with the 2 May Moore photographs that I got a few weeks ago, and make a little display out of that with the signature. So that's the plan for that. So pleased to get hold of that signature. 3 books have arrived, thanks to Tony Partis. We got Cricket Conquest by Bill O'Reilly. Doubling Up with Delight, the Surrey boys there. Surrey's Twin Triumphs 2000. It's got a nice book. And then the last one here, what's this? The Story of the Oval, this one. So some nice publications there. Second editions, I think they are mainly. These one, or this one is anyway. So there's some decent stuff in there. So look forward to reading about that at some stage. Thanks Tony and Jackie for passing those over. Then the other thing that turned up this week is this lovely official photograph of 1938 Australian team. I'm not quite sure it is. I think it's a Bolland picture, but it's only 14 quid. How can you go wrong at that? So that's a nice addition there with the 1938 side to England, captained by Bradman, of course. So anyway, let's turn on to what I got yesterday at the Chris Saunders auction. Of course, you get up there and you see this other stuff, and you sort of want it all. And I didn't get the bits and pieces, or the 2 things I went for. The window bill, the Surrey window bill for England, was pretty poor condition, I've got to say, when you looked at it. So I'm glad I didn't get that, really. And I didn't get the W.E. Reid Surrey picture, but anyway, there we are. That went a bit beyond me, so that was that. So what I did get, I'll take these out of the packets as well. So I've got some nice unassigned Andy Sandham there, and a Pinus card. Nice signed one there of Andy Sandham. Quite nicely in the Sandham south side of the collection. And what else? We've got a lovely Ernie Hayes here. I want one of these tashes, don't you? What a great tash that is. That's Ernie Hayes. Force bat. It says the force bat has no equal. Ernie Hayes. Nice signed postcard there. Quite pleased to get hold of that. And then an Ernie Hayes postcard, so that's good to get hold of him. So that's a couple of the Surrey boys there we've got. What have we got here? There's another Surrey one there, which is again Hobbs and Sandham with their record 428 against the University. It's got facsimile signatures on there, but they've actually signed underneath it and just above it there as real signatures, so quite nice there. And I see that 183, that's my top score, so reminded me of that yesterday. So please get hold of that postcard. That's actually by one at the Oval, C.C. Smith at the Oval bookshop. So that's quite a nice little addition there. And then another one here of Hobbs. We've got a signed butter, Australian produce butter exhibition there. And that's just signed there by Jack Hobbs as well, so quite makes a difference. That I've seen them without the signature, so nice to get hold one with it. That's a nice one. And another that come with this Jack Hobbs at the wicket there on his stance. So another one of those. They're nice to get hold of there. Add to the bits and pieces. And a lovely cabinet card here of Charles Absalom. Charles Absalom, he played in the third Test match in Australia in 1878-79. He got a 50 in the first innings, but unfortunately England lost by 10 wickets, I think. He ended up, he died in 1889. A bit of confusion on the back here. Quite nice artwork on the back. It's got cricket 1902, but he died in 1889, so a bit of a clue is the rounded edges, so it's probably post 1880 possibly. But he's got his ball in hand there. And he was a purser in the on the ship. Died in 1889 when a crane fell on him, collapsed on him in Port of Spain, Trinidad. That's where he was, so that's where he died. So he's looking, I mean, they all look a bit older, don't they? But he looks about 60 there, but he never made it to 60. I think he was 49. But anyway, lovely card there of Charles Absalom. So I'm very pleased to get hold of that. One Test there for England over there in Australia. And now another lovely carte de visite this time of GF Grace. Oh, I'll get it out of the bag. I've just kept him in the bag. So GF Grace there, and he played the one Test 1880, and then died about a month later of consumption. So a bit of a sad ending there for him. He played in that Test match with his other brothers EM and obviously WG. So that's a lovely little carte de visite there. So quite a reasonable price for that, I thought. So I thought I'd have a go at that one. And then some lovely paperwork here. We've got Percy King. One match for Surrey in 1871. He's got a correspondence here. I'll take it out of the packet because there's a headed his business in Scotland. Say played one match for Surrey, and this is a correspondence here, and it's got it's called Cricket Records, and it's all sorts of records he's written, handwritten there. WG Grace's record, Stoddart's record of I think it's 4452 or something like that, from 1850. VL Walker's on there, all sorts of lovely information on that. And he's just checking about the second at Orleans Club, and at the end there got a lovely signature there, Percy King. And there's a picture of him there as well, nice photograph. So, but he was best known really for sort of highlighting Scottish cricket. He was the I think I can't remember what it was now. It was the editor of the Scottish Cricket Annual and Guide. And that's his business address there. He was 54 Lothian Street, Edinburgh, dealing in cricket, lawn tennis and football. So nice item there, and a very rare signature of Percival King. So I'm very pleased to get hold of that yesterday, I have to say. One game for Surrey, one game for Surrey rather. Another one here, lovely watercolour page, this one, with flowers and ferns all around the end of it. And it's to Charlie Pardon and cricket, cricket relating agency from Charles Alcott, 1889. Charles Alcott, as we know, was the instigator of the first Test match, and also the first FA Cup final, played at the Oval. It was just a lovely displayed sheet there, with a little scribble of Charles Alcott on there, the Surrey secretary. So I'm very pleased to get hold of that. And then I filled a few holes in with the tour programmes. I've got a lovely one here, 1935-36 to, well, this says New Zealand. This is a Wellington publication, but they went to Australia first and played the statesides, called the Goodwill Tour. And there's some lovely information on this, a nice advert on the back there. Lovely picture there with the RT Holmes skipper in the middle. And they've got scorecards and what have you in there. It's a lovely publication, that. From 1935. So another lovely one here, 1926. This gives you the route and everything they've done on the Australians did on the return trip to Australia. What trip it must have been, going across America, leaving Birkenhead, started at Birkenhead and then ended up in Auckland and Sydney. I ended up in Sydney in the end, but some lovely stuff here. There's a train there that they travelled on. What else is in here? All sorts of stuff in here. Got pictures of Niagara Falls and all sorts of things. There's the ship. This is the one that took them back to Sydney. The Orangie. What's that one there? Lovely photograph there. Calgary, Alberta there. So it's a lovely item that, I have to say. I'm thoroughly pleased to get hold of that one. 1926 programme. Australians back to Sydney. And another one I've filled a hole in. Little gap in the collection was 1929-30 MCC team to Australasia. So on the RMS Orford. Lovely one there. Hardly any damage to this at all. Incredible, really. And there's the players there in the middle. I've got a signed ship of this one. But I didn't get that out this morning. So I'm very pleased to get hold of that. There's also, writing about each player in there. And then we carry on. There's the Orford there. There's the Orford, and there's some matches there. Western Australia on October the 31st. And then Dunedin on January the 3rd. There. Place of war, and then we finish up. Last match was at what do we call that? Ruarapa in New Zealand. So that's February 26th, 27th. So quite an intensive tour there, but nice to get hold of that, to say. And the last one is this lovely 1930-31 tour book, and it's got a nice. It's been rebound. And there's the front cover there, and it's absolutely delightful, this one. I have to say, some fantastic images in here. I mean, look at that, going back to 1888, and that's the sort of things that got in it. All the way pavilion at Musenberg there. And it's got obviously little pen pictures, caricatures of the South African players. There's Steen there, and then at the front there, who have we got there? Herbie Taylor. A nice shell advert there in that other side, and then also you've got the English players. There's Maurice Leyland there, and you've got Lion Beers is a nice advert there. That's a lovely thing. That is a really nicely produced item, that is. Then the final bit from yesterday was this lovely photograph of, I'll just see where it is. It's the Maharaja of Vizanagram 11, when Jack Hobbs and Herbert Sutcliffe toured over there. This is when Jack Hobbs got the 200s that took him up to 199 first class hundreds. So it's a lovely thing, signed by all apart from one. There's a chap over there, but there's a little bit of dispute who this fella is here. If I read you a bit on the back, it says all 9 have signed and played in the game, but the puzzle is who is in the middle. So they don't know who's in the middle. So hopefully a little bit of research there might find that out. It says that it's what it says, probably taken at match at Mysore on the 1st and 2nd of October 1930. December, beg your pardon. So it's a lovely image there, I have to say. Really pleased to get hold of that. A few marks on it, but very nice it is. So pleased with that. So anyway, we've changed our track from this week for the 300s on what bits we got yesterday. So we'll go 301 next week, and we'll go retrace some of the bits and pieces that we got this year. Okay, well, I hope you've enjoyed that little visit to Chris Saunders' auction yesterday and the bits I bought. So anyway, have a good week. I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.